All right. So today I'm going to share with you what do we need to know about proteins. So I titled this as the real protein conversation we need to have in midlife. And this conversation is actually inspired by lots of women clients that I'm working with, and this is like the top one conversation always come up with everyone. So, shall we start? And make sure you drop hello when you're if you're watching live with me. If you're watching replay, just put replay. I want to hear from you. All right. So, if you are eating more protein, tracking your grams, adding collagen to your morning coffee, morning latte, and maybe even pushing yourself to hit that 100 or 120 grams of protein a day, but your metabolism is not responding and you're still feeling off, this is the real conversation we need to have. Because after around age 40, it's not just about how much protein you can eat every single day. It's actually about whether your body can use it. So, hello everyone, I am Sharon. I spent over 20 years as a clinical pharmacy specialist working in hospital before transitioning into functional and cellular nutrition. Now, I work primarily with midlife women. They are intelligent, very health conscious, and they are doing everything they've been told to and still not seeing the result they expect. They track, they optimize, they do tons of research, but they are still tired, they still feel inflamed, they're frustrated. And like I mentioned before, protein is one of the biggest areas where the advice really sounds simple, right? I'm sure many of you have heard the advice eat 1.6 gram per kilo of your body weight of protein. That sounds simple, but biology is not. So today I want to share with you three things midlife women are not considering. And these are timing, capacity, and source. So the first one is timing. Your metabolism follows rhythm. Your digestion follows rhythm as well. Let me share a story with you, and this is a client of mine. She loves intermittent fasting. She would skip breakfast, and first her first meal was actually her mid-afternoon snack. Usually, it's just a handful of nuts. And her real largest meal is really at dinner time, so in the evening time, and sometimes late at night. And that is the meal with most of her protein. And she thought she was doing the healthy thing, right? Intermittent fasting, do like 8-16, and that's a healthy way for you. So she thought she was being disciplined, she was being healthy, but she didn't know that metabolism isn't neutral throughout the day. What do I mean by that? Your insulin sensitivity is higher during the day. Your digestion, your digestive strength is stronger during the day. The mitochondria, they respond follows light exposure. So when you place your largest protein load later at night, you're actually asking your system, your body, to perform a complex biochemical work, meaning digestion, when the body is actually ready and preparing for winding down to prepare for repair and sleep. So, do you see how that's a mismatch of the timing when this client had her protein versus the time the body is winding down? So, for her, we didn't increase more protein. We simply start with aligning her timing. And as a result, her energy stabilized, her craving reduced, her sleep naturally improved because her body is not working so hard to digest. And even her A1C improved to the point where her doctor was actually really shocked. So, protein works best when it follows the nature's the light and dark rhythm. Okay, so the second one is capacity. You cannot discipline, okay, let me repeat that. You cannot out discipline digestion. Capacity, you cannot out discipline digestion. So, this is another client of mine. She was told to eat 120 grams of protein every day. She did it. She was doing it. She was hitting the target because she has that willpower and she was really disciplined. And she ended up feeling bloated all the time, constipated, uncomfortable. So she cut back her protein consumption. She felt better, but she felt guilty because she was not hitting that 120-gram target. So this is what no one told her. Protein is a very metabolically demanding macronutrient to process. So I talk a little bit about this in my first example, the timing. So for the protein to go through the digestion process, this is what's required: adequate stomach acid, pancreatic enzyme, a very strong bile flow, a robust mitochondrial energy, because we need the mitochondria to produce energy to power up the digestive system. So for this client of mine, her stress level is always high. Her digestion has been sluggish because she already have gut issues to start with. Uh, Her bile was stagnant because she had gallbladder stones. And she was always running around between meetings. So for her, more protein actually becomes a burden for her instead of benefit. You cannot absorb what you cannot break down. You cannot. You simply cannot absorb what you cannot break down. And I always hate to say this, but midlife is when the digestive resilience often starts to decline. This is nature, this is physiology. It's not the body's failing. This is what happens. So that just tells you that it's even more important for you to consider your capacity, specifically your digestive capacity, before pushing on packing up all those proteins. And the last one I want to share today is the source. What kind of protein are you eating? Now, here is a layer that almost no one talks about, but I always want to share this with my clients and now with you. So, again, another client, she, I don't know what's the number, but it's 120 gram of protein for like midlife woman. But anyway, this client, she was also hitting her 120 gram every single day. She tracked it. She knows she was doing that. When she gave me her food record, I saw what's on the paper or what's on the app. This is what she had: protein shake every morning because she was always rushed. She didn't have enough time to prepare a meal in the morning, so protein shake is always her to go. Followed by protein bar at lunch because she has all these back-to-back meetings, and protein bar for snack. And finally, when she get home later in the evening and night, that's when she had real food for dinner. So when you just simply look at a protein number, yes, it is absolutely perfect. But again, this is very similar to my other clients. For these clients, she had brain fog, like she just couldn't resolve. Her energy crashes in the afternoon, that she just could not keep up with her kids, and she had to force herself to go attend all these kids' activities or sports. and she just simply feel inflamed and uncomfortable and just feel like all the time. So what I work with her is protein powder, protein bar. Often they are processed, they are isolated. Next time when you grab a protein drink or a protein bar, just look at the ingredients. Very often it says whey isolate, soy isolate, pea isolate. These are processed food. When you look at real full protein is intact tissue. When you eat eggs, steak, fish, chicken, whatever animal based protein that you eat, you're not just getting amino acids or protein. You are getting the whole beautiful full matrix. And that includes natural fats, that includes mineral, that includes vitamins. It's a whole biological context. And here is something really fascinating I want to share with you. Fresh, real food emits biophotons, and this is called light. And I'm sharing this not because it's woo or anything like that. You can actually look into biophysics, and this research comes from a German biophysics. His name is Dr. Albert Fritz Popp. This is his research, biophoton. Fresh real food emits measurable biophotons, which is light. Okay? The light is stored solar energy from the sun. So what does that matter for us? Because it comes back to mitochondria, and if you have followed my work, you know that I am just so in love with mitochondria. Your mitochondria just doesn't burn calories or produce energy. This whole process, they actually manage electrons. And they respond to light-based signals. So when you eat real sunlight grown food, you are eating organized energy. When you rely primarily on isolate, processed, or I'm going to say ultra processed protein powders or food, much of the light information is gone. So especially in midlife, when mitochondria efficiency naturally start to decline, and I talk about this in another chat, it's called heteroplasmy. The quality of energy entering your body matters more than ever. So your cells don't just need amino acids. They need organized energy, and what I mean by that is organized light that comes into your body. And that's something isolates processed proteins simply don't provide the same way as real food-based protein. So this isn't about eating more protein. Yes, protein is important. Not going to argue about that. This is really about your body's readiness. You can hit 100 gram, 120 gram of protein, track everything, optimize perfectly. But if your timing is misaligned, if your digestion is weak, if your stress level is always high, if your circadian rhythm is disrupted long term, your bodies cannot use the protein efficiently. So for us midlife women, this is not about willpower, it's really signal issue. Hormones respond to signals, metabolism respond to timing, mitochondria respond to safety. When those are off, more grams of protein won't fix that. And very often I share with my clients that you cannot optimize in an environment that is disrupted, that's misaligned, and that's broken. You simply cannot optimize your body in that environment. So this is exactly what I am hosting the Spring Cellular Reset on March 28th, which is a Saturday at 11 o'clock Central Time. In this workshop, I'm not going to teach you about macro tracking, macro counting, none of that. I'm teaching you signal restoration, light, timing, mitochondrial safety. Because when those are aligned, protein works, fat works, your mitochondria works more efficiently to produce that energy. When you have that energy, that's when the vitality comes. So it's not because you need to increase something or more protein or reduce something, less carbs. It's because you finally understand what to give your body so it can do what it's always known to do, which is to grow, to build, to repair, and to heal.